We welcome Christian Shumate to the Tulsa family. He's one of the newest recruits signed by head coach Frank Haith. And Christian joins us from Chicago Heights, Illinois. And first of all, thanks for jumping into the eye of the hurricane. Christian, tell us a little bit about yourself. What is Christian Shumate all about?
Well, really, I'm just I love basketball. Most of my days just revolves around that. I like to work out. Work out with my friends a lot too.
How did you develop in this past senior year? Because you kind of took off as far as your numbers and all of that sort of thing. How did you get better this last senior year? What did you work on in your game?
Really, I was working a lot with my dad, my AAU coach, Coach Stan. We worked a lot on developing the outside game, more about I could play like the wing or the 2-3 if I needed to. We still gonna put in some more work this summer when the gym start opening back up, but we basically just working to improve my perimeter game some more and get my 3 more consistent.
Christian, describe, if you can, the recruitment by the University of Tulsa and then your ultimate decision to come to TU. How did that
go? So since I couldn't really take any visits, I had to make decisions based on a lot of relationships and relationships I built with the coaches. And I felt like the staff at Tulsa made me a priority more than any other school did. So I feel like they did a great job of that and just making me a priority. And I built a good relationship with most of the coaches on the staff. And other than that, they just made me feel real welcome.
Did it help that Tulsa had signed one of your teammates, Keyshawn Williams? And what's your relationship with Keyshawn?
So Keyshawn, that's my boy. We knew each other since we played AAU together or like a year and a half ago. We met, and we actually knew each other before that, but we didn't end up actually meeting each other until that point. But Keyshawn, he's a big friend of mine. We love playing together. We also a lot of times say we're a real good duo, and we play what we're good together. But it did make a impact on my decision. I felt like we are like no matter what level we're playing on, we always make an impact on the game together. So like it obviously wasn't too bad having one of my teammates on the team with me.
And I assume in watching some of the highlights I've seen, he drops a few dimes on you, doesn't he? I mean, he assists you a few times, I'm sure, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
And when you think about the decision you made, what's the feeling that goes through a young man's mind when he makes that decision to go to Division I basketball and he's gotten a scholarship offer? What's the feeling like when you make the decision?
It's really like all the work and all the time you put in over like the last however long you've been working for is like all that's starting to come in play, and like this is where the next level starts. This is where you're going. All the opportunities going to come, and it's just like a great feeling.
Christian, in one of the videos you put together, you said always been overlooked, always been counted out. How does that fuel you?
It don't feel great. So like that's like a lot of times why I play with such a high motor and just like playing as hard as I can because I know where I came from and I know that doing what I do is going to get me looked at. So I try to do what I do is to the best of my abilities every game.
And defensively, we know that you can block shots. We've seen a lot of that. What kind of a defender are you overall?
Overall, I think I'm a good defender. I can guard a lot of positions because my first 3 years I was guarding a lot of bigs. Out being over at playing for these, I was guarding a lot of bigs. So I think I could guard inside as well as outside because I could move my feet on the perimeter. I'm real long, so it's hard to get around. And if you do get around me, I can meet you at the basket and most likely block the shot. So I think I'm a pretty good all-around defender.
And that said, you did have a ton of block shots. You averaged 7 per game this past year. What's the key to getting a block shot?
For me, is I meet the ball at the rim instead of going for the ball while it's in their hands. So after people go for shots, that's when I'll go for the blocks.
Are most of your block shots off ball, or are they when you're guarding a guy primarily, or is it both?
I'll say it's a little bit of both. I'll say probably it's about Actually, it's more offside help. It's like if you said I average 7, probably like 5 was off ball help, and then 2 was on ball.
All right, one of the games I was researching you on was this Thanksgiving tournament game where you had 28 points, 11 rebounds, block shots, a triple-double. How special was that? And, of course, the third double, if you will, was block shots, which is unusual. How special was that?
It was real special for me because obviously it was like basically a coming out party for me because that was like the first big game of the season. It was a championship game of that tournament, and that was my first time in the conference. So it was a lot of talk going on about me, but like nobody really was taken away. So until that point, so I felt like I had something to prove. So I just went out and we got the win. I did a good job of helping us get the win. But the triple double was a little special for me because growing up, like I always got a lot of blocks, but it felt good to finally be recognized for it, I guess.
Was that the game against Curry?
Marion.
And Mary, okay. But you played Curry a few times, and Elijah Joyner is one of the players on the Tulsa team from Curry. Did you have any knowledge of him prior to starting to play for Bloom?
Yeah, so I knew about him a while ago. Somebody in my family actually knows him, and I played in a pro-am game, like a little pro-am game over the summer, and he was in it as well.
What did your dad mean to you in terms of what he has taught you?
He means everything. Obviously, me and him, like we always been working. Like ever since like I told him I wanted to be serious about basketball. Like we always been in the gym. He's always been putting me in the gym with other people, developing me, making sure I spend the time out of my day to get where I needed to be.
How about your mother? You've always talked about her being kind of your rock.
Yeah, my mom. She obviously makes some influences on our decisions on basketball, but like she's just my number one fan. She doesn't really like involve herself too much in the business part of it, but she's just always been my number one fan throughout the whole journey.
We can't wait to get you to Tulsa, obviously, and have you be a part of the Golden Hurricane family. What do you think you can bring to the Hurricane this year, and how much did you follow the team this past season?
So I started following them a lot after Keyshawn told me he was going to end up going there, which was a little bit before he was committing. But ever since then, I was watching them a little bit, and then they started to talk to me, which I definitely was watching them even more. So I think I could bring. Obviously, like on every level, I play hard with a passion every game, so that's gonna make an impact. Play with a motor, do what I do, and try to jump right into it and get up to play as fast as I can.
Well, Christian, again, we can't wait to have you head south down to Tulsa and be part of the Hurricane family. You're already part of the family, obviously. Well, we'd love to see you in Tulsa, and we look forward to when that occurs and look forward to next season. Thanks for taking the time, and stay safe.
You too. Thank you.